Get started in a couple of minutes. Just make yourself comfortable. Just give me 2 minutes to check the stream is all going how I expect. Okay, looking good. Cool. Is anyone in the Zoom? Not yet. Oh, 96854. Oh, okay. Well, let's get going then. Good evening, everyone. Some familiar faces, some new people too, which is always nice, and possibly some people online later. But welcome to the Engineer Cafe. Who's here for like the very first time? You guys? This event, yeah. Hack Fukuoka. It's actually 2 years since we started this event. Actually, 2 years last month, but I forgot. Anyway, but yeah, I thought I'd just sort of introduce the space and introduce what's been going on for the past year, and then kind of throw it open to people doing a bit of show and tell, show what you've been working on, chat about things you're interested, things maybe you want to try over the holidays, stuff like that. But in general, it's a super casual event, so don't feel you need some fancy presentation or anything like that. Here's my slides. Cool, let me just double check, no one online, okay. Yeah, so Hack Fukuoka December 2022, we made it. It was a busy year at the Engineer Cafe. As I'm sure you know, it's a co-working space, maker space, and people have been really doing a lot of good stuff down in the maker space in the basement. So we had a sort of children's event where they were making acrylic kind of talismans and etching them with lasers, and it was all made with Python programming, which is pretty cool, doing the turtle programming. Here's a little electronics project I did in the top right, which was to teach people binary numbers. If you want, I'll show some pictures of other bits of it later. And the bottom right, anyone want to guess what that is? Anyone want to guess? No idea? Shout it out. Nothing. So basically, it's a fun story. The part on the left is the original part, and the part on the right is the 3D printed one we made downstairs. Someone came in one morning and said, I absolutely need this part made by the end of today, because I got to get on a ship and do some work on the ship, and the ship's going to be moving between countries. So my deadline is today. I don't know how to make any 3D models. I don't know anything about 3D printing. Can we do it? And we did it. And this was about 10 minutes before closing time. So we finally made it. But yeah, so you can make really useful stuff for work. And it's not a very interesting part, but it's a cover for a laser scanner, and a manufacturer's replacement was a few $1,000s. So worth it. Some more stuff. We had the Jubilee, so I put the Queen's face on a cookie. This is just a book stand in the big picture, but it's also laser etched downstairs, and some puzzle pieces someone put together for kids made out of acrylic. So tons of maker stuff. We've also got a lot of streaming that happened last time. So the big picture there is streaming and VR. We had a lot of VR events. On the bottom right is one of our metaverse events. Love it or hate it. We've done some VR chat events and VR streaming events. And yeah, and another thing I'd really like to highlight from the Engineer Cafe is it's not just maker stuff, it's not just co-working. There's a lot of support for studying programming, studying development, studying engineering. And we've had some real nice success stories. So a couple of people who've come here studying basically full-time, and they've done career changes from different jobs to programming and getting hired, which is a great success story that happened a few weeks ago. And also Jackson, who did the top one there, he was a sort of writer, and he kind of got into a more technical style of writing with a bit of help from us. And these are both YouTube videos. So if you go on the YouTube channel, you can actually see and hear their stories and see what they said. So if you just go on Engineer Cafe's YouTube, you'll find it. So that is that. Another thing, has anyone seen the mushrooms? I love this. So basically, someone came to the Engineer Cafe a few weeks ago and said, hey, I've got a startup from Helsinki growing mushrooms, and I want to give you a present. And the present was this. Whee. So it's actually been sitting in the cafe for about a month, and it was originally just a box of like coffee grounds from making coffee. Put a few mushroom spores in, and then they grow into mushrooms like this. Fantastic. All sustainable, recycled plastic, recycled things. And if you want to learn how to do it, oh yeah, we had it on a webcam, publishing it live, and I made a YouTube video showing you exactly how to make it, how to make the box, how to put it together, and also how to make the webcam. So if you want to check out that YouTube video, it's all hosted on a little Raspberry Pi. Yeah. So to round up my stuff from the Engineer Cafe, well, what's coming up next? Stock image. So we're going to have more events, bigger events, more complicated topics, and a lot more sharing of knowledge. So not just about coming to learn, but also sharing your expertise, sharing your skills. This room's going to change a little bit so that there are more corners for people to have small study groups and streaming things. 3 of the events I'm really looking forward to. Svelte. Anyone heard of Svelte? It's a front-end framework, very, very popular right now, going up in popularity. We're going to have an event in January to talk about programming websites with that. In February, we're going to have a microcontroller event, building lots of circuits, electronics, things related to that, and maybe synthesizers too. And in March, we're going to look at board games, including having a kind of one-day build-a-thon where we all make board games and play test them from a prototype. So that's kind of my plans, but I kind of want to hear about what everyone else has been doing and is going to do next. Brian, do you want to announce your thing? Or?
Yeah, good.
Go on.
Great transition. So this will be get-together to work on portfolios, particularly your GitHub. Whatever you might be doing, whatever kind of coding and things you might be doing, you probably don't have your GitHub as tight as you want. And I think that goes for like 100% of people I've met. So I want that to be kind of the focus, but this is not going to be really strict. I want to focus more on the community, people meet each other and sharing what they're working on. And I have a few topics I want to introduce. At this one, I want to introduce GitHub Pages, which is a static web hosting. I think it's going to be great for a lot of things. I want to do like a portfolio or something. So if you already know GitHub Pages, then this might be a review. If you don't know GitHub Pages, I'm willing to teach anybody, no matter how new. And yeah, if you want to get a portfolio or a blog or something along those lines that you kind of get yourself out there, this is the place to get started. And hopefully goes well, we'll do this on a regular basis. So details will be coming out. We got the date on the calendar.
Not quite yet, so we'll get the date on the calendar very soon, probably by the end of the month, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's actually going to be on the same date as this Spelt event, so you can go to both if you want. They kind of time one to finish, and then the other one starts, or you could just go to one or the other. Yeah, and a lot of people do ask how to find out about events, and the one place losing my sound a bit, there we go. So Engineer Cafe homepage, got all our events on, you can book the rooms here and do things like that. The Compass event page is probably the easiest way to find stuff. So this event is on there, and tons of other events are on there, and it's getting really busy, so there's lots of stuff going on. And Twitter is a good place to just watch out for any random things that are going on as well. That's basically all my serious introductions and serious stuff, but I'd really like to see what other people have been working on and hear about other people, especially some of the new people that are coming to hang out. So, I don't know, does anyone have a thing they'd like to mention? Maybe like, have you been doing the advent of code, or have you been doing something like that? Does anyone want to just say, hey, this is cool, kind of thing? You can plug into the projector as well if you want. Up to you. Yeah, go for it. I don't know if this will reach, but maybe come over here is the easiest way, actually. Weesh. Go on, you go in the middle. And the camera's in focus as well. Yeah, I didn't think this through in terms of microphones. Do you want a mic? Why not? Cool. Sorry. There you go. Nice.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Mizuki Yamamoto, and I'm the staff in this engineer cafe. And today is not my shift, so I attend this event. So, okay, I'm gonna introduce about some applications that created last day. And okay, so let's get started. So I have a quick questions. Have you ever think about revenge to some person or someone, like your boss or like your coworker, your friends? Yeah. So I created the applications to help those peoples. So I'm gonna show how to use it. And first, there's a project. There you can see the projects in this screen, and top one, and so and it's beside some titles and so on. So if you want to revenge someone, you have to set the target. So ロイさんの顔を借りてもいいですか?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So
oh, that was quick.
Oh yeah.
You've been planning it.
yeah, that's embarrassing. Yeah, and let's add the target. So first, you just double tap to the screen and add the picture or here, and let's see, where is it? ちょっと待 ってくださいね。Sorry, I can recognize.
So is this another Flutter app?
Yes,
Flutter and Dart?
this
Yeah.
made
Okay.
it by Flutter.
Okay.
Yeah.
That looks
And
good.
Yeah, you can add, you can put where ever you want, and you can. There's a little bit bugs, but you can change the size, and you can add the title, subtitles, like. Is it spell is
Close enough.
cross? Sorry.
L-A. Yeah.
L-A.
You just do it in katakana, it's fine. Yeah.
Great. So this is a target, and let's create some others relationships.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use the free picture, free images. So
I understand now.
So let's add some Rory's friends. This is the Rory's friends. Yeah,
Wow.
it looks so bad. And
Criminal
also,
enterprise.
Also, and there is the pictures about might be Rory's girlfriends. Yeah. So you can add to the picture like this. So about to realize about the relationship. So like this. And also you want to plan about to other things like, so Roy is so cool and so generous. So, yeah, and I hate that part. So let's recommend about the barbershop who cuts ugly haircut, that cuts ugly haircut. So スペルがわかんないので、Sorry for Japanese, but so some.
It also supports Unicode then. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So let's recommend the ugly hairstyle barbershop. So yeah, kind of this,
Nice.
and let's feed some junk food. Yeah, to make him more ugly. So yeah, junk food.
Is this a comment about my haircut today, maybe?
Yeah, so you can plan about how to, destroy the target or some yeah, kind of this. But it's not just using for a revenge. You can also use other things to use it, like planning planning to where to go, some trip. Planning about the trip. So like this. So you can add let's get this started. You can add the background image like this. So if you set the background image as you set the picture about the map picture as a background. Wait a minute. Sorry, it's not working. So
So is this live now? Can we try it? Can we access this now?
So it's all doing the local.
Okay.
So I'm trying to connect to the crowd. So in the future, you can use
Cool.
and you can share about the URL and use
Nice.
it. Yeah. So
Yeah, it seems like a really nice mind mapping tool.
Yeah, so for example, to add you can set the background image from here, and if you set kind of this picture, you can add in on this article, like if I find the word that I didn't understand, so you can notice from here, and if you add some words in here, you can also write some other words that what is related on. So yeah, you can use as educations, for planning of a trip. So I think there's a lot of illustration to use it. So and it's already deployed, so you can access these services.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, and the URL is https://revenge-mapping.web.apps. And
is it all shared between everyone at the moment?
yeah, I want to.
okay.
Yeah.
All the data, is all the data shared, or is it separate?
It's separate, so
Okay.
it can't share because first I'm trying to share it. I'm trying to connect to the cloud, but it's not too. It's too expensive for me to using the. Yeah, I usually use Firebase, and it's a little bit expensive and to use it and deploy and share about all people. It's a lot of cost. So, but someday the Rowie told me that there is good options to use the Superbase. It's good options to
Similar
use.
to Firebase.
Yeah. So, and it's so easy to search about the data. The Firebase is using the NoSQL, so it's hard to search the word from to search the words. So, but the Superbase is using the PostgreSQL, so yeah, it's easy to add some search functions. And also, Superbase has real-time functions, and it can do. So, for example, if you're using these services for some peoples, you can add some functions that who is dragging the cursor up. You can you can know that the people's status, the real-time status. So if some people are online, or where is she dragging, or where is his positions of his screens, you can know about all things. That could be possible if you use the real-time functions. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to connect to the clouds in this year. So
yeah, it'd be really cool to see like real-time features added to this. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's also just really nice, complete app already, to be honest. It's great.
Thanks.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you. Wow, you've set the bar really high for the lightning for the lightning talks. I didn't expect that. Well done. Yeah, give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I was expecting 30 seconds, like just a quick show, but that's brilliant. I love it.
And first I create the target for the Rowie, but we didn't have some issues between me and Rowie, right? Yeah.
100%.
So
I'll throw you out the window later. It'll be like an action movie.
thanks for
No, it's great
hearing
stuff.
me.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. Yeah. So just keep it going. Does anyone have anything cool they want to talk about? Something you've made, or just something you're interested in? I know super bass is a really cool topic I want to see soon. I know I haven't spoken to you guys in person, have I? So I'd love to know just like, you know, what's your story in Fukuoka? What are you doing here? Ooh, what are you interested in? Yeah, do you want to come say hi? And I don't know, you don't need slides. You can totally just chat. Just clip that on somewhere and say hi. Ooh, there you go.
So yeah, my name is Ibai. I'm from Spain. I've been in Japan for about 5 years in total. But before I was living in Kitakyushu, doing my PhD. My background is more biomedical, developing assistive devices. Using technology to help people, basically. So yeah. So I like technology, using technology to help people, basically.
Cool.
And now I'm working for an Australian startup. Which we are working on a pair of glasses for the blind, basically to convert the environment into sound for assistive. So yeah. And then on my free time, I like to work on AI models. Basically sharing, I take a model from someone and I try to make it easy to use, and then I share some cool video like how the model works.
What kind of models have you made recently then?
Object detection, pose estimation, line detection,
cool.
depth estimation.
Yeah, wow, that sounds really awesome. I mean, we have a few deep learning kind of AI related events here. It's definitely not my specialty, but I would love to learn more about that, yeah. Wow.
In my case, I'm not so, not so good, but I'm not so interested in what the model does, but it's almost like how the model can be used to help people or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions? Let's just keep it going.
Actually.
Cool. I'll tell you what, it's wireless. Let's pass the mic around. Unless you've got some big thing, thank you, to show everyone. Let's just pass the mic around if anyone wants to speak.
If you got the mic still there.
Oh, go on, yeah, jump in. This should pick up people's voices as well, but it's not quite as good. Oh, here we go. We've got more toys. It's Christmas. Gotta have your Christmas toys. Oh. Hang on. Let me point the camera towards the table a bit more. Wow. Fill time. Who here, by the way, is like a working programmer, engineer, software, hardware? Who's doing that for their job? Who's doing some other kind of job right now? Okay, cool. Got a good mix of variety and stuff. I think you mentioned this was something to do with flight and drones?
That's right.
Oh.
Not so much drones as...
There's a cable here, watch out.
Thanks. Maybe we should...
Yes. Ooh, look at that. Move this out of the way.
Just clip on here.
Whoa.
Okay, so I'm not so much of an engineer or a scientist, more of an artist, but I do enjoy radio-controlled flying. And over the years, I've been building my own aircraft, like scratch building. And it's a trial and error process. I know the basic principles of aerodynamics, but I don't know all the maths and everything behind it. I didn't do very well at maths in school. But yeah, this is a project I'm working on at the moment. It's an airframe that's based on a Soviet Tupolev Tu-16, but I'm taking liberties with it. And yeah, it's part of my journey with these things. I usually make them out of foam, and that it's messy. When it crashes, it bends, and it's not that easy to fix. And I just thought I'd like to try and make something out of balsa wood, and so this is it. And at the moment, the only functions are, hang on, this doesn't help. The only functions are the landing gear and the engines.
Ooh.
Hang on. Which one is it? There we go. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And yeah, then you can just drive it. So it's really just a noisy radio-controlled car at the moment.
Oh my word. I can feel quite a lot of air coming out the back of that. How is it changing direction?
It's steering in the nose wheel.
Oh, okay, the wheel.
So.
Does it reverse?
No, unfortunately.
Can you turn it around and point it towards
point it the
us?
other way. Thanks.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thanks.
That's fantastic.
This is from another model I had. This little steering mechanism is quite cool. I'll just retract it again. You can see it's this little pig just rotates into this housing, I guess, and then that steers, and that's what steers the nose wheel. Yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah. So what I wanted to say is that I had started off with foam and I moved to wood, and one of the problems I had was I like retractable gear. I like how it looks when everything's cleaned up in flight. And what I wanted to do, one of the problems with that is that it's like little gears and things go wrong when you land too hard. So I wanted to make the main structure of the aircraft one contiguous piece. So this T is like the main, like the spine of the aircraft, and that holds everything together. So hopefully this thing will be able to land quite hard and still survive. Yeah, that's all from me. Thanks.
Wow. So many questions, but like, so the radio control part, did you write some?
No, so like I said, I'm not much of a scientist. So this is all modular. This is so this is a Futaba control unit. I think in Japan it's called Propo. So Propo comes from proportional control. This is a 3.4 gigahertz receiver, and yeah. It just sends the signal through. My channels here at the moment, it's 8 channels.
Oh, wow.
And my next thing that I'm going to do is put on 2 servos at the back here, between the engines, and they're going to push the rods that control the elevators and rudder. And then there are going to be 2 more on either side here that are going to do the ailerons.
Oh,
yeah, give it some roll.
Maybe this is a silly question, but can you fly them in Japan? Do you need like lots of licenses?
So we used to be able to,
Yeah.
but now, as of February, I think. No, sorry, this year, this year February. Sorry, you need to register a model, and then you also need permission from whoever has landed as you're flying over.
Right.
So how
Yes.
fast?
So these engines, you can see they've been used before, so motors rather. These were in another plane, and it was too fast to land. So very fast, yeah. It can really push something through the air quite quickly.
Is this all motor?
No.
Oh.
So this is just the air intake,
Okay.
and the motor itself, it's just 2 little brushless motors. And you can see that. And yeah, really, these are 12-blade fans. It really pushes quite a lot of air out. And I don't know if you're happy to have it cranked up. I don't know, we might disturb these people. But
No, go for it.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
Want me
it's
to
quite-
hold it or anything?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm going to have to hold it down.
Well, if I hold it,
you can hold it,
I'll
yeah.
hold it.
This thing might blow off. It's not a very.
Okay.
Pull it off. hang
It's
on.
very light, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I've got it. Wow.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
actually
that's
it's
quite
actually more powerful than that. This
Yeah?
battery bay, so this panel I put in too far backwards when I made the pieces first, and it was designed around a bigger battery, and I glued this in too far back. So I'm going to have to make some modifications where I fit in a bigger, more powerful 14-volt battery. This is just a 7-volt battery.
Awesome.
So if I understand, you build the main body
Yeah.
of this laptop, and do you use or would you use a 3D printer as well for parts? Or
I've-
you just like cut from the wood?
I'd like to. I don't really have any experience with 3D printers, but that's part of the reason why I'm here.
Lori
to-
is really good.
Absolutely.
yeah, to learn some things, and
Yeah.
I think when the need arises, at the moment, how I'm doing my panels, unfortunately, this broke in transport, but I get balsa wood, a sheet of balsa wood, and I wet it, and then I mold it around the frame, and that gives it a bit of curvature. That's how it is as well.
Cool. Yeah, like the laser cutter that we've got downstairs, we can definitely cut through balsa wood, do some intricate designs, save some weight, all that stuff.
That
I
would,
guess-
sorry, that would be
yeah.
perfect for the I forgot what they're called.
Fuselage kind
Like the parts of the what is it called again? The aerofoil segments of the wing.
Oh, so it's like, yeah, the wing and then the slices of the
Right.
wing.
If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do it by hand, it takes ages. But if I could just program that
Cool.
into a 3D into a laser cutter, that would be amazing.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if we all make gliders, we probably don't need a license, right? If we're just going to throw them,
Still a glider.
Still
Anything over.
no remote control, and if we're just going to throw them.
Unless it's really light.
Okay.
Unless it's
20 grams or something like
yeah,
tiny,
that'll do. So if it's
Yeah.
less than 100 grams,
Oh, wow.
then you're good. But anything over that, like this is,
Wow.
you've got to be registered.
Awesome. Wow.
And you say you are taking reference on the actual airplane. Right?
Yeah.
And how close is it from the actual airplane design?
I'd say it's about 90% the same. I'm mainly doing it for the proportions of just to so that I know that it will fly. This, for example, in the actual TU-16, these engines are not recessed as much. They're a little bit further out. I don't even know why I did this, but a lot of it's just playing. A lot of it's just for fun. I don't really. This some of them I design all together and then make it according to a design. But this one I'm just kind of it's evolving. I mean, it's based on a TU-16, but it's evolving. Yeah.
Cool stuff. Well, thank you so much for all that. Yeah. I didn't know what you were going to bring. You said something kind of flying machine. I was like, I wonder. This is amazing.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. We've still got loads of time. I just want to mention that there is a bar, cafe/bar over there. And if you want to grab a drink, if you want a beer, I think it might be, I think they said last orders was 8, so you probably need to get one in. So maybe we'll just take a couple of minutes if people want to grab a drink. And they said they'll put a lid on the beer, so you're allowed to bring it in here, which is good. So if anyone wants to grab a drink, we'll take a quick break. If anyone's got a quick talk or something they want to show, come grab me now, and we can arrange your computer so you can do it. Yeah, come get set up. And then we'll keep going. We'll just kind of chat, but feel free. Yeah, grab a drink, chat to people, take a look at all this stuff. Oh, I might get a quick drink. So I'll just take a couple of minute break. I'll try and work out what's going on. In the room. Right.
I'm so excited. Like, it's not that I know a lot.
Let's get back into talk mode. Everyone's had a bit of a chance to do some drink stuff. Oh, nice, yeah, big size. Cool, we got another great talk. David here is going to tell us about, is it Nix? Okay. We're good. Yeah, take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to introduce you to a tool that I've been playing with that I found it's really interesting. So essentially, I'm really interested in reproducibility. I think it's a lot of people talk about machine learning and they think it's working on the latest hot models. But I think the real challenge is to be able to iterate really quick, like we just do in normal software engineering. And then reproducibility becomes an issue when you have data, code, and infrastructure. And so recently, earlier this year, I ran into Nix. And Nix is both an operative system, but it's also a package manager. So you can think of it as some sort of like, if you use Ubuntu as a kind of like apt-get, or if you use npm as kind of like this tool that grabs packages and you can install them in your system. The problem with the normal package managers is that once you install something, it can break your system. That's one issue. And the other thing is like, it might work today, but it might not work tomorrow because there are a bunch of dependencies that are tracked in a very dirty ways in the way we do software engineering today. So essentially, this is just, I'm trying to make a lighting talk out of this blog that I wrote some months ago. But essentially, when you join a new company, you are trying to get set up into whatever projects they have, and then you have to put these environment variables, download these binaries and what's not. And usually the other people, well, it kind of works in my machine, maybe the documentation is outdated. So, it works, you have to figure your way through. But essentially, I think, sorry, I'm making this on the go, so it might not be the best, but essentially what you find is this kind of thing. You have to just go through the documentation, it's outdated, and it looks a little bit like this. And then at some point you get sorted out, and then you have like a working environment, but you're a little bit scared of touching it and like breaking it. That's one context. The other context is kind of science, where you have data, code, and tools, and essentially you want to be able to grab somebody else's project and just achieve the same results. And this is super important for science, for machine learning, I think. So a more concrete example is Python. I guess, do anybody here use Python a lot? So essentially, like this was something I was discussing with somebody at work. They were asking me which package managers should they use, and you can see these really well in this image. But over here are like pip, conda, like poetry, and all the features are here. And then this matrix is just telling you what you have and what you don't have. And then if you use conda, for example, there are some things that are in your environment that are ensured that they are not breaking. But if you use something like pip, there are some like C levers that you're not sure that they are breakable. And so it's really difficult to pick and to know what you are actually installing and how it is actually installed. So that's where Nix sits. And essentially Nix is, as I said, is an operative system, but it's also a package manager. And if you are in Ubuntu or you are in Mac OS, you can use the package manager. You don't need to use the OS. You can just get rid of that. And essentially what it can give you is these pure shells. So if I do which Python here, I think I have 3, yeah. So it points to my local Python, which is some arbitrary version. But if I use Nix, I can create like a pure shell, which will have a Python 3.10 that is completely isolated from the rest of my environment. So if I do this, I'm going to go into this Nix shell where the only things that exist is the which command and the Python 3.10 command. So if I do which Python, it's going to point to this binary over here. And this is like essentially like a store where Nix stores all sort of programs that you have. And this hash here is based on all the inputs that are needed to build a Python.310 binary. So that hash changes if any of the input changes. So suppose I want to install a Python version that is different from my system. Maybe I had Python 3.8, but I didn't want to install it wide in my system because it might break stuff. So I could just create a Nix environment, which is pure, and it has a Python 3 that is completely isolated from the rest of my system. If I do any other command here, it's not gonna work. Like for example, if I pass, sorry, this is my bad. Sorry. Well, as you see, demos never go well. So essentially now I'm gonna tell it only to give me a shell with Python 3. If I do which, it's gonna tell me, well, what is that command? It doesn't exist. It's a completely pure environment, which you can have. So it's completely reproducible. Recently, the people working on Nix introduced something called a Nix Flakes. It's something like this, Nix Flakes. And essentially allows you to go to any project in GitHub that have a Nix Flake. Like for example, at work, if I'm taking over your project and I want to have a dev environment where my IDE picks up all the tools, install all the dependencies, all of it, I just go to my project and do this command, nix develop. And inside, it downloads all the things that it needs and bootstraps an environment where I can just work, and it ensures it works the same for everybody. And now your question should be like, hey, David, isn't that the same as Docker? And I'm here to tell you it's not the same. Because in Docker, when you do you might build a Docker container today, and it lives in the Docker container registry. But if I try to build it in 2 months, I might not be able to, because it does all kind of mutations inside. So it does apt get update, for example. So Docker environments are good for running in production, but they are not necessarily good for development environments. So this is something that is really exciting and something that I think has taken, this Nix tool is taking like momentum. I think recently I've heard about it more often than I did earlier this year. And so I wanted to introduce them to you. I'm certainly starting to introduce this to people at work, and they seem to be reasonably happy with it. We have not introduced it in the whole company, but with a few people, and they seem to be happy with this. So I want to make this longer. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks. Last year I was stuck in Python version hell for a long time with the project, but that looks incredible. So do you use it at work on production projects already? Is it very stable and useful, or is it still quite new?
I think there is some people who are really interested in it. Mm. So we started just adding them in some projects to see how we can expose other people who are not into this. And the idea is it might be possible, but there is also some people who think that we might want to have a tool on top of it to make it easier for other people. Yeah.
Wow, thank you again. I didn't expect so many lightning talks tonight. I'm really pleased. So thanks again for that, David. Maybe we've got time for one more, I guess, and after that we can just chit chat and keep showing things. Anyone? One more? I see your laptop's out. I was like thinking you were thinking about it. You don't have to. Otherwise, the other stuff we have is we've got a bunch of card games to do with Linux command line command, game consoles and IT. And I thought we could just hang out, chat, play some IT card games for a bit, kind of Born in Kai feeling, and just chat. And of course, show people your demos, show people your models. Do you want to give a talk on how are you feeling? No? Yeah? Maybe? Yeah. Watch me forcing the guys into doing it.
That's why you're getting revenge on him, right?
I didn't even know you were going to give a talk. You just turned up with an amazing one. Great. I didn't know at all. Yeah? Oi! Go on then.
ATM つないでる?
Yeah, just plug it into that USB-C there.
Okay. これね.
Yeah. It's all ready to go. Oh, do you need a different adapter?
Okay.
See into the
とりあえず、
computer.
あ、うまい。So, where I mean,
Yes. What a range. People making stuff, hardware, software. Wonderful. Couldn't have done it.
okay.
You ready?
Okay, good evening, guys. どうしようかな。I went
You can
to.
just clip it on if you
Ah,
want. Yeah,
okay.
it's probably a bit easier. Cool.
Okay. I went. Cool. I went to state of maps in Japan. State. I went state of map. Japan. That's
Yeah.
it.
Map data, right?
Yeah, I like maps, web GIS. I went the conference, December 3rd in Hyogo Prefecture. こんな感じでした。I'm not good at speaking English. いや、ここね、これです。これね、行ってきました。で、I like WebGIS。こんな。そうよいしょ。Leaflet, JavaScript libraries in OpenStreetMap's background でしょ。でこんな感じ。加古川 is here ここね。
Did you give a talk or did you just listen?
Yeah, I なんていうの。登壇してきました。
Yeah, what was your talk about?
I なんだっけな。これだね。I told なんだっけ。Using all OpenStreetMaps on web application first step っていうね題でやってきました。そうね。Using GeoJSON こんな感じね。
What data is this?
Yeah, GeoJSON なんて言えばいいかな。日本をヘキサグラムで分割、separate hexagram こんな感じ。
Cool.
っていう感じ。Like Starlink. I'll merge it. これね。
Okay, like different regions, kind of like cell phone coverage, that kind of map.
So this,
Yeah, as well as Starlink and satellite internet.
But Starlink is what, satellite related or cellular?
Starlink is satellite internet,
Yeah.
but coverage is in hexagon cell, I think.
なん
right?
かマップス。
And what is OpenStreetMap?
OpenStreetMaps using pattern is なんていうのかな just only using pattern suggest function 難しいななんて言えばいいんだろう使い方の紹介だけをしたレコメンドしただけですね。
Oh, so it's a demo of how to use
demonstration.
OpenStreetMap. And OpenStreetMap is free map data,
Yeah.
so you don't have to pay Google, you don't have to pay
So
Bing.
Yeah,
It's
open source
and
map.
free. Yeah.
And they combine different technologies like satellite and cellular antenna and to build up the map.
Yeah, where does the OpenStreetMap data come from?
Yeah, OpenStreetMaps made by なんていうの、so everyone、
Yeah.
難しいな、出てこないな。
Have you added data to OpenStreetMap?
Yeah, I made it. I made it.
Yeah. In fact, there's a bit of a group, isn't there, in Fukuoka who sometimes
Yeah.
adds data to
Yeah,
the map
there
data,
is
yeah.
a group in Fukuoka. Geotech.
Do they meet at the Engineer Cafe?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Last month is we studied QGIS, free open source open source geoinformation system software. あとはmapping, OpenStreetMap. I approach these areas, and update these areas.
Cool. Yeah, go on.
So you're building maps, right?
Yeah, building.
So OpenStreetMap is a huge project, right?
With Google Map or whatever other map system, what is the plus of what
Yeah, why is OpenStreetMap good compared to Google Maps? Why is it better?
Why is it better? なんて言えばいいのかな。
If you wanted to do a lot of things with Google Maps, you would need to get a developer key, and at first it's very rate restricted, and to handle more traffic, you have to pay for it.
Developer friendly.
More than the open source aspect that is really
Yeah.
interesting.
One cheaper. Yeah, and free system.
Free is cheap. Yeah.
Free, but also there's a lot of detailed information on things that Google, maybe Google doesn't value, so they don't record. So OpenStreetMap has lots of data about you can find co-working spaces and there's tons of different tags and stuff. What were some of the weird ones? Like lots of bicycle path information that's not on Google Maps. Yeah, loads of stuff.
Folk project, open bicycle map,
What's it called? Yeah.
bicycle map とかあるんじゃない？あと open cycle map. It's folk project from OpenStreetMap. こんな感じね。日本だと
Don't run away
あん
from
まり
it.
ないかも。
England has loads actually on OpenStreetMap.
Yeah,
For the cycle paths, especially in London, places like that, huge amount of data. People are very good at updating it.
Yeah, this is open data. UK government.
Yeah, it's really nice. You can do sort of intercity travel, so you can go along an old train line and then find the cycle path through the town, and then go through another old train line that's not used.
Open train map もあった気がする。Open railway maps.
Yeah, so showing how good open source is, because you can do what you want on top of it, instead of having to sort of obey Google's rules and stuff.
Yeah, Japan and China.
Oh, nice.
There are express rapid train. So many service stations.
Look at that.
すごい新幹線ですね。中国も多いんだね。
Cool stuff.
こんな感じですね。よいしょ。あとは、最近、recently, many people use WebGL. こんな感じ。WebGL Maps、DeckGL、Mapbox とか、あとは Uber とかが made by Uber and Mapbox. This library. Yes, pathway Osaka to Osaka, from Osaka to Yamaguchi ね。なんかあったかな、こんな感じかな。
Is there like another map Geo event coming up soon?
Yeah, like next month. I wish.
End of next month, maybe, is it? I can't remember.
いつしようかな。
Is it on? Oh, you're not planned it yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
I plan.
Sure. But if you do, it'll be on
こんな感
Compass, right?
うん、またやっと公開します。
Yeah,
エンジニア
awesome,
カフェスホームページです。
Mm,
コンパス。
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much again.
ありがとうございます。
I think, wow, thanks so much to everyone for all the great lightning talks. I think I'm going to close off the stream, close off the lightning talks now. But we've got the room for like another hour. So if you want to hang out, I think it's last orders maybe as well, if you want another drink. Maybe we're going to play a few games of this card game, show a few more demos, just chat about tech and stuff. Feel free to hang out. So yeah, thanks everyone. Yeah. Thank you. I've just got to turn everything off now.